Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Callum, one of our amazing paid traffic guy. We had to go all the way to the UK to import this guy. Apparently, there's no smart people in the US. We had to go over the pond. So, it just got back from Callum. Just got back from the US. We had our event with our Next Level folks in Orlando. So Callum got to hang out with the folks live. That said, today we want to talk about something I think it's missed a lot in online marketing specifically. So if we're doing offline marketing and we're paying someone a cold call or doing postcards or most marketing that's kind of old school, we know, well, we got to send the message to the people that get our message, right? Like, if I'm selling yoga pants and I'm not my target audience. If I see an ad for yoga pants as a 48-year-old dude, well, no offense if there's fellas out there, that's their vibe, but it's gonna be a hard sale for me. Let's just say I own 0 pair of yoga pants and I'm okay with that position in life. So you can give me the best you could have the best yoga pants for the best price with the best message. If it's put in front of me, whatever you spent to get that message in front of me is probably money you're never gonna see again. So let's dive into that, Callum. If you don't mind, let's start with kind of the biggest, I like starting with the biggest low-hanging fruit of misconceptions, what people were doing wrong, and then we can kind of talk about how to make that better, so to speak.
Yeah, so I think you kind of, in your little example, albeit we're not selling yoga pants, you kind of addressed what I would consider being the main point is the complete kind of, like, it's not even crossing your mind who your specific audience should be. So, like, if you pick cleaning, for example, whether you're commercial or residential, you're only operating in a certain area. You're not selling something global. It's not a national product. It's within a certain area, right? So we sometimes go, okay, yeah, this location, and then draw a line under it and think that's all we need to do. Like, we can target all of the people in that area. And we straight away move on to what is either the fun bit or the thing that people care more about, which is like, what am I going to say? What am I going to show them? Is it a video? Is it a photo? Those sorts of things. When actually, if you ask yourself some deeper questions about who the audience is, who's the specific person that's seeing the pain which your service solves, what do your existing clients or your prospective clients want to have in common, you'll find that within that subsector of, one state, one county, one city, you're going to find a really small sector of people that is your actual target audience, and those are the people that we want to make sure that we're serving our ads to. So that in kind of like to put that in a task format of like, what should we do? What should the thought process be? It should be to take a pen and paper, take your phone, whatever it is, and go, okay, what are the characteristics? What is like an audience persona? What are the characteristics that my target have in common? Who are they? Whether it be facts about them, like their gender, their age, where they live, but also what are like maybe common interests that they have or places where they go or things that they do, and kind of building up a picture of who is that ideal target. Because if you can build up a picture of what one person is, it's more than likely there might be 500 of that person within the area that you serve, and they're the 500 people you want to go after. You don't want to waste your time accidentally showing your ad to a 20-year-old guy who is not going to buy a product, or to a 70-year-old woman who's not going to buy a product. You want to work out who it is and then go to the next step of what do I show that person.
Beautiful. So I want you guys to be clear. A theme that I hear that Callum just hit on that breaks my heart when it comes to owners of cleaning companies wasting money on advertising, not being able to grow, is it's always about them as the owner. So they'll say things like, I want to be known in my city. I want to be known, and I want to be regional or global or all this sort of stuff, which is great. Like, having goals and wanting to expand is fine. But the whole being known is completely an ego thing. No offense, but we clean toilets. Like, there is no cleaning company. You know what I'm saying? Who cares if they're not? That's about us, and it's an ego thing, which is fine. You can spend a ton of money and be known and be broke. So you just got to be clear on what you want. I think we equivocate being known, with big, huge air quotes, with being rich, and they're not the same. So, for example, for me, I'm completely unknown in the universe, except if you own a cleaning company, which is or you want to start a cleaning, which is a very specific niche. So arguably 99+% of the world has no idea about growing my cleaning company, who I am, and it's just fine because I'm very well known in a very thin slice of people. And that's the afterthought, is the being known. The primary goal is to being able to help. So,
and that speaks to that speaks to like the whole idea of marketing and anything in general, right? And even more specifically to cleaning, it's like, if you want to just focus on getting X thousand of likes on Facebook or Instagram or something, like, people can make that happen for you. It's not that difficult. You have time or money or your creativity to do that. But if you gave everyone the choice of, would you rather have 500 clients that pay you every single month, but they're the only 500 people that like your Facebook page? Or would you only have 100 clients, but you have 100,000 likes from Facebook? Only one of them is ultimately going to build your business, make you money, and get you to the destination of where you want to go. So I call them vanity metrics, all these kind of things that don't actually equate to any financial gain. And it's just kind of like, well, it looks pretty or, ego kind of thing. And they're the death of you. They dictate your money and you don't actually gain anything from it other than a little pat on the back with like, oh, look how many people like my post, So yeah, like by identifying your audience very clearly, you kind of remove all the extra people. If they like the page or they engage with you, cool, it's a bonus, but we don't want to pay those people to do it, right? Like they should just be the organic extras. We want to focus all the budget on, just hitting the right people.
Yeah, I would go so far as to say, well, first of all, what Callum said is exactly right. And the frustrating part is I think 90+%, probably 99+% of the audience is nodding their head going, obviously, I want money and profit and impact. I want to grow my business. And that vanity metric of a bunch of likes or followers is just a bonus. So we all nod our head like, obviously, Callum. But then when we look at how you act, completely different. So make sure that you line up your actions with your the way you feel. I would also go so far, or the way what you really want. I would also go so far to say, is if it's like, well, but if I had 1 million followers, that's not going to hurt. I disagree. I would literally rather, the power of this podcast is the specificity. So even if we did have a Facebook page with 1 million likes, but only 1,000 of them were owners of cleaning companies or potential clients, or it could just have 1,000. That was 1,000. You're like, well, I take the 1 million. No, I don't want the others because now it's confusing. There's a bunch of noise and I can't get my message out properly. I'm going to get a bunch of feedback from people that aren't my target market and I'm going to be confused. So I would go so far as to say, it's not even like, all right, got it. Don't chase the big number. If it comes, it's fine. No. I want target. If you're going to be effective, targeted, not big. The last thing I want to say on what Callum said so far is, if you rewind, old guy thing, if you go back and listen to what he said earlier, everything was about his client. We go so much about us. We've been in business this long. We're this. We're a Better Business Bureau. We have good reviews. Look at us. What can we offer you? Why choose us? All these things about us. If you notice, Callum didn't say anything about you and your company because that is the least interesting subject to anybody. So the theme is make it about them. But if you don't know who them is, we're screwed, right? That's why we do bad messaging. A lot of times we're like, well, I do residential and commercial and moms and this and that. So we don't even, them is just anybody. So we think it's going to help us with our marketing. We're like, who's your customer? Everybody's my market, Callum. I could sell to everybody. We think that's good because you're like, oh, I can't exclude a bunch of people, but then you can't catch anybody. If everybody's your market, nobody's your market, right? How can I speak to if I'm like, I coach people on things? What could this podcast be? Things coaching for people about things that they want coaching on. Who's going to target? Who's going to tune in? Nobody. And when they do, how am I supposed to help them? Like, I don't even know who they are, right? But if it's Grow My Cleaning Company podcast, who's that about? It's not about me. I don't know cleaning companies, but you and your cleaning company. So it's really important. All of your stuff is about them. You know who them is. If you don't have that, nothing we teach is going to work. If I came to Callum and said, I've got $1 million to build my cleaning company, but I don't know who my client is and I only want to talk about me, or I don't want to talk about them, Callum might take my $1 million, but he can't give me any clients, or if he does, it's going to be in spite of the marketing, not because of. Thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. I think as you progress, and I don't want to get too technical about it, but as you progress to the actual doing stage of like creating your marketing materials, trying to appear in paid searches, running your sort of like digital ad, you realize that you're going to pay regardless. The more you target, the more money you save is the short of it. If something's going to be shown to 100 people, in an ideal world, you have 100 people that will click through and go, hey, that's exactly to me. The reality of the world is that's not what happened. But even if we can get, say, 10 of those people and we're working at 10% of people clicking through, that's so scalable. And then if you have a really good value proposition, all the other things on the back end, that's how you can build a business. The more that percentage shrinks, don't see it as like, oh, it's okay because it's still the same amount of people. Yeah, but you're paying for all the other people to see your ad. And when you're trying to scale a business and you start off by only spending $200 a month and, hoping that as you sign new clients, it goes up to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, whatever it's going to be, you can't really afford, or you don't really want to end up wasting 50% of that budget targeting the wrong people with your ads. So from a point of view of getting across one clear and concise message, really it should be quite easy to identify your target because you only should really provide a solution for one set of people, or at least your solution is going to serve one set of people far greater than anybody else. So like you said, yeah, of course, we can clean anybody's home, right? But some people need their home cleaning more because of certain restraints, such as time, or they have kids, or whatever their specific circumstances is. They need our service more than other people. So they're the people that we should go after and put our advertising dollars towards trying to get those people to click through and hear our message. If we put out the same message to all of these people, people are going to see it. It's not going to resonate with them, and they're going to click away. And actually, that's then going to have a negative performance on how we can reach our ideal target, because all of these algorithms that we're relying on are going to go, yeah, nobody clicked on that. That's low quality, or that's no use to our users, or they don't find this useful. Yeah, we're not going to push you as far, or we're not going to show you to these people. So sometimes it might seem like, okay, my pool of people is 1 million people to target. That's great. Surely I have to find some systems within that. When actually you're better to narrow it as far as possible and just go after your kind of minimal viable audience, I would call it, your kind of smallest step possible. And yeah, okay, if you realize actually that was a bit too restricted, then you can make it a bit broader. It's so much easier to go wide, right? Rather than to narrow it down to the people that actually need you. So yeah, identifying your target is like super crucial before you can do any of the other technical aspects and decide how you're going to target the people and things like that. So from like a business point of view, where like how you would coach people, Mike, I'm from a pure advertising of how can I just get someone to click on your ad view that I would see it. The targeting is probably equally important on both sides.
Couldn't agree more. And I'm going to hit just one more time on the vanity thing, because I did that for a decade, more, probably closer to 2 decades in one. And I don't want you guys to waste the same time and money and frustration, because what happens is you put money into advertising, it quote unquote doesn't work, and then you don't put any more money into advertising. Fine, but then you can't grow, or you're really frustrated growing because the only way you know how to grow is repeat referrals, or shoe leather, right? I get out there and go to the networking events, and all that's fine, but it's not scalable, right? What if you don't want to do a networking event tonight? What if all of your people have already referred everyone they know? Like, those are great ways to go, but that's the killer. We think the killer is, I gave $1,000 to Facebook and I didn't get anything. Okay, that ain't great, but I gave up on marketing or scalable marketing, and now I can't grow my business. That could cost you millions of dollars, not just $1,000. So what that looks like, guys, another way of looking at the vanity metric, which I don't want you to do, is if I pick like, what's the most prestigious place you could have your business, right? I'd say, I don't know about, you tell me in the UK. In the United States, I think a Super Bowl ad, it's been like, oh my gosh, 30 seconds is $5 million, right? Like, just globally, if like one thing I could put what would be the one thing? And I would say globally be Super Bowl ad. Fair?
Yeah, we have the same principle, with sporting events, like live music shows, stuff like that, exactly.
Yeah. So
Mike Camping here. Do you ever listen to the podcast and go, this is great information, I just wish I could actually get it implemented, and I wish I could get some help? Well, we do that. If you would like either myself or my team's help actually coming up with a plan that's specialized to you and your business, because with these podcasts, obviously we have to be very general and we can only go 20 minutes at a time. If you'd like to jump on a call with myself or my team, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. We'll jump on a call. There's no charge, and we'll help you get some absolute clarity around exactly what to do next and how to do it. The reason we don't charge for these calls is the plan that we come up with, people want help implementing that. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about it. And if it's not, that's okay too. We're happy to just help you come up with a plan. So if you want to translate the information you're learning here into an actual plan that can change your life, give us a ring, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. Love to either myself or have one of our coaches walk you through and actually personalize the content you get here to where you're at with your business. Talk soon.
that would be a huge, say someone gave you for free for your little cleaning company, a vanity, you're on the Super Bowl. To say I was on the Super Bowl would be huge. Or even like, back when Oprah Winfrey was on, like, oh my gosh, I was on Oprah Winfrey. I got, I just built my whole business. So we kind of think, well, Pepsi's a big company. They're on the Super, they were, Bud Light or whatever, they're on Super Bowl ads. And then we do the same with Oprah. They're big. You got to understand they have a mass audience, right? So yes, for Coca-Cola, if they do or beer or pizza or whatever's going on in the Super Bowl, yeah, the large percentage of the people watching a football game are going to be interested in beer, like, of course, right? So we do those vanity metrics like billboards, like if I could have a TV, the smaller version of Super Bowl would be a TV ad or a radio ad or a bill. And I think those are kind of getting to be old school, but we still think they have, legacy media. If I could be on Fox Media or CNN or whatever, but they're not targeted, right? So what happens is you feel great. Look at me, I was on whatever, the Super Bowl, Oprah, TV, radio. Look, there's my billboard. And we do stuff that makes us feel great, but we'll just use the billboard because that's a little more something someone could actually do here. okay, what percentage of the people driving down that billboard are actually people that are going to buy your thing? Like if you're commercial, virtually none. If you're residential, more than that. But why not just have an ad that goes directly to them or a piece of mail that goes into their home? Like the targeting is such a big deal. So just get off of I just want you guys to get all the ideas. New version is more followers, more subscribers, more likes. Old version is some sort of, legacy media. Look how important I am. And again, if the goal is for your family, look at me, that's my billboard. Or, the old thing with realtors is their face on a bench or something. Like if your goal is or I got pens with my web, my business on it. Those are all great to make you feel good. But if you want to make money, you got to make sure the right people are seeing that ad. So if it's a pen with your logo on it and that's in the hands of the wrong person, you wasted whatever the pen cost. But if you give the right person, and that wasn't available, right? Just 20 years ago, it was Super Bowls and radio and whatever. And a lot of times people still act that way, but we have Facebook where you can say, no, only the zip code, only females over 30 years old, only females over 30 years old that have this kind of a credit score, this kind of income, and have an American Express card. Like you can really grind down that.
Yeah. And that's super important. I think it's not, to get the message clear, it's not that these types of physical or like older advertising types are bad. It's that if you have a limited budget, what is your order of priorities, right? So the example you gave of like being able to narrow that audience, or lady in her 30s has X time dead, hangs out here, does this on a weekend, whatever it may be, there could be a physical location where this ideal target goes and 500 people like her go every day. So putting something in there, great. Like I'm not saying everything has to be digital and it has to be Facebook, Google. Like if there's some sort of poster where you can kind of track it. I know one of your clients has a really cool poster that has a QR code that has the best of both worlds, where she has a poster up, but it doesn't have a phone number. The only way to get in touch is to scan the QR code, which then puts them straight back into a marketing funnel. And you can see which QR code they came from because they're all different. You can actually see, oh, the poster I have in this coffee shop is, tracking this many people, and that kind of thing. But I think what's just as important as part of thinking who are the right people. Another way to think about it is writing down and thinking about who are the wrong people. So you can get really specific of the service you offer. Some people will be looking for a very similar service, but it's different enough that you don't offer it. So for example, maybe you don't clean apartments. People are going to be searching for or looking for an apartment clean or move in, move out or rentals or whatever it may be. So it's very similar in terms of all the things that are offered in the world. It's quite similar to your service, but in terms of exactly what you offer and what you're willing to do and how you want to scale by offering one specific service, it falls out of your remit. So in technical terms, we call that a negative keyword. And that is essentially what are the search terms that are not relevant and you don't want to show up next to those people. So for example, in the Super Bowl ad you gave, how great would it be? Okay, yeah, I can run the Super Bowl ad, but it's only going to be shown to, the people I want it to be. Like that's not a reality. However, on Facebook, on Google it is. You can say, okay, if anyone searches for this, I do want to be shown. If they search for this, which is kind of similar, it says the word cleaning, but it's a different type of cleaning. It's carpets and I don't do carpets. I don't want to be shown. And we have the ability to be able to do that, which is really powerful because then we don't waste $1 showing the person that wants carpet cleaning, the fact that we clean the whole house. We can just say, cool, you search for carpets over there. Someone else will spend their money advertising for you. And we just narrow down on someone that might end up paying us because we offer that service. So yeah, I think you can definitely have a hybrid of the physical and the digital, but you have to kind of set an order of priorities of, hey, cool, this month I can afford $300 in advertising. What's most likely to get me the best return on investment? Let me go for that first before I decide, I can spend $100 on getting the pens because that'll be cool. I've got the pens. You got to think a bit more strategically about it.
Yeah. So I think what I'm hearing you say, Callum, is it's not about the media. Because again, we get into Facebook works, Google doesn't. I think that kind of happens because of all the advertising we see. People that want you to pay them to run their Facebook ads. Their message is Facebook's the magic, which isn't. We spend a lot of money on Facebook. We can make a lot of money. So do our clients. I'm not saying Facebook's good or bad, but we get confused. Or the guy that's selling direct mail says that, or I don't know if there's still phone book salespeople out there, but that guy, he's 80 and he's telling you the phone book's the magic. The reality is it's not about online, offline, old school, new school. It is where do your people congregate? And by the way, test this crap. I'll just share my big dumb mistake. For years, we weren't on Instagram because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not my perfect client. I don't even own a cleaning company, for God's sake. So, and then we went on Instagram. It's probably Jared. Damn him being correct. Forget how we got on. And holy crap, are my people on Instagram. So for you guys, don't say my people aren't on Facebook. there's a billion people a day on Facebook. Your piece is some subset, if probably a large subset, is on Facebook, or like TikTok. I think it's ridiculous. We're not on TikTok, but I know if I was on TikTok, we get more things. So A, it's not about the media. It's about where your people congregate, having a message that speaks to them. B, I love what you said, Callum, about it's as much about who you don't want as how you do want. Like when I talked about ladies that are 30 or over, well, if you own a cleaning company for residential, no offense, we're looking for people that generally can afford, $300 to $500 a month in cleaning. And not that there are no 24-year-old young women that have that, but they probably don't have kids or a husband or dogs or the high-paying job, frankly. But the 37-year-old woman that is a lawyer, with 2 kids and her time is real valuable, that's different. So the excluding, I certainly don't want 18 and under, right? There's almost no chance they've got a home. And maybe I don't want 65 and up because they're in smaller, more communal places. So the who you don't want is important. Like I used to think the general terms like, wow, just cars, like about, or cleaner. Say I was going to, everyone's like, I want to own some sort of search term, or like, I want cleaner, because that's general. Like we'll get the most traffic. It's like, yeah, you will get the most traffic. But if you go to buy the phrase cleaner, just that one word, I'm guessing you get clicks for 10 cents. Like it's almost free, because if this is a guy searching for a cleaning solvent, like I'm looking for a cleaner, am I searching for a job opportunity? I want to be a cleaner. Am I searching for a cleaner for my residential, my commercial? It could mean anything. But if I search for best cleaning company in Phoenix, best residential cleaning company in Phoenix, Arizona for high-end homes, well, that click's going to be more expensive because, maybe there's only 7 of those clicks in a month in Phoenix, but the buying signals for that is huge. And there might be 10,000 searches for the word cleaner in Phoenix or in the world, but 9,942 of them are completely useless to me. So I like starting with what you don't want and then going to what you want. Go ahead, Cal.
Yeah, no, and that's super interesting. The way that you described it, for anyone listening that already kind of on this, running Google Ads, etc., you can run something really simple called a search term report. You can Google how to do that. It takes 2 minutes. And all that does is it will show you what words people have searched or what phrases people have searched that have directly triggered your ads to be shown. So it's super simple. You can go on there and you can have a look at, oh, people are searching that and my ad showing up. I didn't know that. Like, I better put in a negative keyword to make sure that doesn't happen again. Or you realize, okay, maybe there's a demand for this. Like, why is everyone searching this? But until you check, you're not going to know. And the important thing with all of this stuff is you make data-driven decisions. You don't just guess and presume something's working. So, yeah, if you haven't done it, I would check straight away. If you don't offer carpet cleaning services and 50% of your ads are being shown to the people that are searching for carpet, it's money that you may as well just flush down the toilet, because they're going to click on your website and going to go, oh, they don't offer carpet. All right, never mind. And then you're straight to the back of the queue. They're on to the next guy. And they don't care because Google's free for the user, right? It's the advertisers that are paying for it. So yeah, run a search term report, find out what keywords, what phrases people are using to find you. And if it doesn't really match up, have a think about how you might be able to counteract it for sure. That's a really important thing to do.
Perfect. So I think we've done a good job helping them understand the importance. And by the way, all this presupposes a niche. So we should almost have titled this podcast, Why Niche? Are there really riches and niches, right? Because I think we say niche and people fight, right? Like, well, I forget the name of the gym, but there's I think it's called Curve. It's a franchise that only has ladies, only women. And it's like, well, gosh, that's half the audience that you're saying no to. But it's like, yeah, but the audience you're saying yes to is so specific, right? Like the experience Callum and I might be looking for in a gym of big smelly dudes, grunting and throwing around a bunch of weight. That doesn't offend or scare or upset. It's fine, right? But if I'm a 27-year-old single woman who weighs 112 pounds and just wants to have my butt look good in the yoga pants that, that no one will sell me, that's probably not an environment, right? So being able to really target that makes a difference. So that's the first piece is you've got to have a niche. If you don't have it, if your client is everybody special and anything, I'll clean your cat, your dog, your dry cleaning, your house, your face, whatever you want cleaned, I'll clean. Best of luck. So the underlying statement is you've got to understand who your niche is. The second is I shouldn't say you've got to, unless you've got unlimited budget, you're going to want to make sure that your message is getting clearly to them. And finally, I think the big thing we covered is don't worry about the vanity metrics. Like Facebook loves showing you vanity metric. Your reach was 7 million people at this $83. And so they want to kind of pick a number that looks big. And then because we coach people and we'll go, great, what's going on? They'll tell me all these big numbers and like, what does that mean? I don't know. How many clicks did you? I don't know. How many bids? I don't know. So we got to get off the vanity measure. I've got 1 million. Again, no offense. You can go to right now for, I'm guessing under $500, Callum. You could have 1 million followers on Twitter. They're all bots.
Easily. Yeah.
So if you want to do a vanity metric, and again, Twitter, Google, when they find that out, they'll cut you off and your account will be worthless. But if you want that vanity metric, fine, make up a Twitter account, find some dude in Pakistan you give $87 to, and there you go. Now you got 100,000 followers. So all that said, we're kind of the summary. Wrap it up for us, Callum. What is your kind of takeaway, big thing you want the audience to leave with and kind of go forward with?
It would be that basically that targeting is the key. The more specific you can be, the better. Think about who you want to target, who is going to be the recipient of your service, who's going to enjoy the service and need the service that you provide. And don't spend any money until you clearly identified who you want that persona to be. And then test if there is a demand from that persona. And if you know there is, because you have existing, same clients that kind of are that person, but you're not getting any results online, maybe that's where it's a technical issue or something that you need to solve with your messaging or something. But ultimately, before you do anything, it's write down, who is this service for? Tick, tick, tick. Who is this service not for? Cross, cross, cross. And then make sure that in whatever marketing you set up, whether it be physical, digital, Google, Facebook, anything, is, okay, that's going to go to the person I want it to go to. That's full stop. That has to be the first thing that you can do. Then you can work out how that person interacts with the ad. Do they see it the way you want it to see it? All of that stuff, that's later down the line. But first of all, it's like the first example you gave was a postcard. You write an individual's address. You send it to one person. You know they're going to receive it. And you always do that before you write the message on the card and think about what you're going to tell the person, It's work out, is the right person going to see what I want them to see? Then you can figure all the rest out easily. And to be honest, other stuff, that's the easy stuff afterwards. Once you work out who the person is, where they hang out, and how you're going to reach them, that's the key.
Cool. I would agree with 100% of that. For those of you, and I will give a bit of a warning, especially with Facebook and Google, or just any of the paid online traffic, certainly opportunity. We spend tens of thousands of dollars a month. We help our clients do the same very profitably, but I wouldn't say they're out to take your money, but they're certainly not out to make sure that not a nickel of yours is wasted. So if you're mildly interested in this, there's some stuff you can do on your own, like Callum said, where you just kind of do some negative searches, a couple $100 a month, and you're good to go. If you're really committed, like, all right, I actually want to know this. I want to dive deep. I want to figure this out. I want someone that is full time. This is all they do every day, all day to help me walk through. Go to growmycleaningcompany.com. I would start with the free masterclass. It's completely free. At the end, you'll have an opportunity to talk with one of the coaches. And again, for those very small percentage of you listening, they're really committed to go, yes, I want to figure this out. I need to know actually how to grow my company in a way that's scalable, repeatable, dependable. So I can say at the end of the month, I spent $861. I got 42 leads. Of those 42 leads, 31 of them turned into bids. Of those 30, and this is probably residential, commercial, these numbers are high. Of those 31 bids, I got 22 clients for an average of $300. I added $6,600 or $75,000 a year. And we kind of can do that math. So if you're mildly interested, keep enjoying the podcast, pick one you like, listen till you get bored. If you're really committed to growing and actually doing something different, go to growmycleaningcompany.com, check out the free masterclass, and kind of move forward to get the help that you need to actually build this. Good luck, Cleaning Nation. Appreciate hanging out.
Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. And we sure appreciate your time and attention.